Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning, 15 minutes to change our lives.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good to Sichas, Chalak Aleph, Parshas Shemos. This is a very famous sicha, and you'll understand why. This is a sicha. It's about the struggle with bringing our kids to a Jewish school versus giving them a proper education, and the arguments and how this issue sources itself back in Mitzrayim, and how we have to look at it differently. Now, some of us might say, I don't have kids, so nothing to do with me. So the reason why we learned this, and we learned the sicha similar to this, not as famous, a few weeks ago, about with Yehuda, is to give us the ability now, when we're not in stuck, to learn it. So then when it comes to that point, we have the clarity. And also because it could be that we are as the teachers, let's say, the people that are teachers, the people that are teaching, this will help them understand their job as teachers. Okay, let's begin. So I'm just trying to make sure that in here as well. Okay, Parashat Shemos. Tzivu Yishol Paro. So Paro commands in this week's parasha. He says, "Kol haben hayilud." All the boys. What should we do? Send them to the river. And all the daughters should keep alive. So the simple meaning is that Paro finds out that there's going to be someone destroying. He's going to get in trouble. He's going to get destroyed by a boy, Jewish boy, and he finds out that boy is going to get his affliction from the water. So what does he say? He commands Shifra and Pur to come and to take the kids and the boys, because he knows that there's going to be a boy that's going to make trouble for him. So the boys should be sent to the water. Whereas the daughters, nothing happened to them, so leave them. We don't need to kill people for no reason. Leave them. That's the simple meaning. And now we're going to explain this in the deeper meaning. So the question is asked: so the question is, why does he say all the sons you should send to the river, and all the daughters you should keep alive? If you just say all the sons thrown to the river and that's it, you'll understand that means the daughters you leave alone. So what's this added point that the daughters you keep alive? According to Paroi, the sons were the ones that just thrown to the water. But the daughters didn't need to. His aninusai, because there was no issue. That wasn't in the realm of his problem. He had no worry about a girl doing anything to him bad. The astrologers told him that it was the boy. Hapiska v'chol haben habas chayun lamedes kiprat zeh afu b'chol gzeira. So Rebbe says this is teaching us that even the daughters keep alive is part of the gzeira. The decree was kill the boys in the water, and the same decree was keep the girls alive. And now we're going to discuss what does it mean keep the girls alive. What was that decree? It's a weird what decree keep them alive. How's that a decree? So we're going to understand what that means in a deeper understanding. Ella sheish l'dayek v'mashmot hamila techayun. The Rebbe says we need to understand what it means techayun should keep alive. Why? Because aleichem anshe mitzrayim lachyois es ha'sheiros haplita. So Paro was saying to the Egyptians that on you to keep alive the daughters. Lehevi lehem chayim, to bring them life. Shelafi musgei mitzrayim. Oisam hamitzrim shnitztavu lamis es gufam shel yaldei Yisrael lashlechasam le'er nitztavu lehimis es nishmasam shel yaldei hapleta haneseres. Mechanis gashmius ayidei chinuchim ha'erech chayim hamitzrim. The basic they're saying like this. He goes, what was the decree for the daughters or the people that stayed alive? the kids stayed alive, that the mitzvah have to give them a mitzvah chinuch. You don't kill them physically, you kill them spiritually. That you destroy the neshama, that you raise them up to become like mitzvah. Yeah, that's what the decree was. The decree was for the boys to kill them physically, and the decree for the girls was to kill them spiritually. What does it mean, kill them spiritually? It's a very deep idea, but what we're saying is when you take a person and you put him in a non-kosher environment, non-kosher surrounding, and you try to influence him, come with us. A person trying to come with us. It's good. Life is good. Now, in this case, you could say Pyro was very he had very bad intentions about it. But what we're saying is in general life, and this is a reality that we see, not that people mean bad, but when Yidden get pulled in, let's say when you go to college and you pull into the wrong non-kosher environments, you have the ability. I was speaking to someone yesterday. My wife and I was speaking to someone talking about his daughter. She went to college an atheist, and she got connected with the Chabad. And he said she does a program that she makes events. She's not always the events that part of the program she has to make events. She's not always the events that she makes kosher per se, but it's just getting Yidden to come together. And so what we're saying is here, the Mitzrim's job, what Pyro is saying, the Mitzrim's job is to take the Yiddish girls and put them in a bad environment and make them become Mitzrims. They'll lose the identity of the Yiddishkeit. And that's a big issue, because then the next generation of it loses that being Yidden. We lose Yiddishkeit. Now let's understand the language. Techayun. What is the language of Chayun? Let's see. That when Parai spoke to Shifran, he said the daughters should v'chaya, and they should live. Don't touch the daughters. This was in a way to bring them to agree to this decree for what they should do. But over here, so when Pari speaks to the Mitzrim, he says techayun, that you should keep them alive. Whereas when he talks to the midwives, Shifran Pur, he says just that you should keep them; they should be alive, and they live. So you see here, the Rebbe is showing us that this idea we see very clearly when he talks to the Jewish people about it. He says and they should live, meaning not that you should do anything to keep them alive, like you should give them life out of life, and they should live and they shouldn't die. Whereas when it comes to the mitzvah, he says v'chayun, that you should make them alive. Meaning very clearly, we're seeing the Rebbe showing us that it says very clearly in the Pesukim, this push that the Pari had on the mitzvah to do this. The fact that the Torah puts it together in one pasuk, we have to prove from this that this concept of the daughters being kept alive, it's not a weak, it's not a less severe decree than throwing the boys and getting them all killed into the water. The death of the neshama, it's not less severe, the death of the neshama, than the death of the body. Because the spiritual death is worse than physical death. So I was saying to you, I don't think the fact that it's in the same pasuk shows us how important this is. That this is equally as important, and really, as he brings down from a few places, one of them is Derech Chaim, that the spiritual death is worse than physical death, which is a wild concept. But the reality of what we're saying is, a Yid living in this world, there's no connection to the Eibishter, and it's been totally cut off, is a worse situation than a person that passed away. And this is what Paro was decreeing, that he wanted that the Egyptians take the Jewish girls and make them part of society, integrate into society in a way that they'll lose their Jewish identity. Base. So we're gonna think about this, and we're gonna bring it down to what it means for us in our generation, how we can apply this to our situation, and how we can look at it and realize when we could chas v'shalom be doing the same thing, not even realizing it. Base. This decree of raising up the Jewish children in a way of Mitzrayim. This is also hinted to in this concept in the first part, which is throwing the children to the Nile. What does that mean? Nilus, Shimesh, the Nile River. What was the Nile River from Mitzrayim? Kedua, Avodah Zarah shel Mitzrayim. It was the Avodah Zarah of the Mitzrayim. Hasiba hapshuta l'davar ha'isam mishum she'anilus havia maker ha'parnasa Mitzrayim. The simple reason why it was Avodah Zarah of the Mitzrayim was because that was a source of parnasa. They didn't have rain. Mitzrayim ein yodim kshamim v'asada is mushkaim b'mei nar Nilus. The way they got water was from the river of the Nile. So the Nile River had a lot of cheshivos in Mitzrayim, and therefore they would be sustained from it, and therefore they gave it a lot of cheshivos, and they sort of bow down to it. They worshipped them. So therefore, we can also the Rebbe is saying that the simple pshat is throwing to the river to kill them, but on a deeper level, throw them into the river, throw them into the Avodah Zarah. So it shows us two things. One is Galus Mitzrayim begashmius. This is a good for Yehudi, like we said just now, at the death of the Yid physically, and base Galus Mitzrayim beruch is the spiritual Galus Mitzrayim. Hashachas Yaldi Yisrael El Avodah Zarah. Show Mitzrayim to send the Yid into the Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim. Amisas and Ishmasam, killing the neshama. Tivius neshama is Yaldi Yisrael begale. Atanui Shel Mitzrayim, throwing them into the waves of Egypt. Ki harei mayim matzmichim kol meitainug. Throwing them into the water, because also water is the source of all pleasure. Water grows things pleasurable things that we eat. So throw them into the pleasures of the physical world, into the waters, into the Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim. And that's what we're saying on a deeper level, what was happening. So now we have to finish up, but we're going to explain tomorrow how do we tie this back in, and you can all think for yourselves what does this mean to me? How does that work? What is this Galus Mitzrayim? What is this Avodah Zarah? What's my Avodah Zarah in this? How do I see what this is Avodah Zarah Mitzrayim, that they bowed down to this water, because that water was the one that's the source of everything. They're the source of their parnasa and source of the lava. That's how they survived, and that's why they gave a lot of credence. So what does that mean for us? What do we have? What's our Nile River? What's our thing that we use that is like so important for our parnasa? And also, what is it? What is this thing that like we said about the girls that keep them alive? That we train our kids. Are we teaching our kids to fit into society around us? Not that they should specifically be negative to the society, but we try do we have this attitude of a kid should be normal, and when someone when a guy on the street looks at us, he shouldn't look at us any differently, or are we proud Yidden? We stand up to our Yiddishkeit and we're a light to the nations. Are we acting like a light or trying to be hidden and fit in? To be continued tomorrow. Have a great day.